everyone, my name is Avni Nair, and today I'm going to be presenting my project HealthSense, warning you before it's too late. So let's start with the problem. The problem is that we tend to ignore these early symptoms that we get when we're sick. Like before catching a cold, it often feels random or out of nowhere, but in reality, our bodies usually give us small warning signs beforehand. Things like a slight runny nose, or a sore throat, or fatigue. And it's not just about minor illnesses like a cold. Symptoms like shortness of breath, persistent fatigue, or consistently high blood pressure can actually be early indicators of serious diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, or even cancer. As these small symptoms build up over time, they can become severe, sometimes even life-threatening, leading to chronic conditions. Now, there are also some key subproblems that make this worse. First, neglect plays a big role. People ignore symptoms because they seem small or because daily life gets in the way, such as school or work. And finally, there's a lack of feedback. So even if data is collected, people don't always know what it means. So that's where my solution comes in. HealthSense is a wearable device. It could be designed as a watch or even a necklace that connects directly to your phone. This device tracks key health data from your body, such as heart rate, blood sugar levels, and temperature. But what makes HealthSense different is that it doesn't just collect data, it actually interprets it. For example, if your heart rate is consistently elevated or certain patterns appear over time, the system can detect potential issues and alert you. It also provides personalized feedback, so if you don't get enough sleep one night, it might suggest aiming for more rest the next day. Along with that, it tracks symptoms that users input and gives recommendations on whether those symptoms might require medical attention. So why does this problem matter? So chronic diseases can actually account for about 63% of total deaths worldwide, which is over half. Many diseases develop slowly over years, which makes them hard to notice early on. Younger individuals especially tend to ignore or deny these early symptoms. However, early intervention can reduce the risk of major cardiac events by up to 80%. And when diseases like cancer is detected early, survival rates can be 2 to 5 times higher. So early prediction doesn't just help, it can actually save lives. It can also improve the quality of life, increase life expectancy, maintain both physical and mental health, or even reduce healthcare costs. So for my AI approach, I use supervised machine learning. It takes inputs from the user, such as biometric data and the symptom tracking, and it analyzes those patterns in that data. And then based on these patterns, it predicts whether a person might be at risk for developing a disease. Then the model outputs the results in the forms of alerts, messages, or recommendations to the user. Specifically, I use a logistic regression model for the prototype. It's useful because it predicts the probability of the condition, for example, whether someone is at high or low risk for a disease based on their data. It learns from existing data sets and applies that knowledge to new users. So this is a part of my code that I used. So basically first it took a set of heart rates from the user, their average heart rates, and it took the sum of that and divided it by the total to create an average to set as the baseline. And then after that, it asked the user to put in their current heart rate, and it basically finds out if it fits between the standard deviation of their heart rates, or if it's too high, it gives an alert, and if it's too low, it also gives an alert, and if it's fine, it will say your heart rate is normal, as you can see here. So I put my heart rate was at 78, and it told me my heart rate was normal. And then I essentially expanded on that. So I took into consideration factors like age and activity level to see if they're at high risk for a disease. So the risk score is at 0, and then the prototype asks you to put in your age, and with that age, it also asks you to put in your activity level based on low, medium, or high. And it oh It also takes in to consideration it adds points to whether your age is greater than or equal to 60. It adds 2, and then if you're less than or equal to 40, it adds 1 point. And also does the same thing with the activity level based on low or medium specifically. And then it essentially also takes the heart rate and does the same thing it did earlier and took the uh looked at where how close it was to the average. And then based off of that, it prints either high risk, talk to your doctor, medium risk, monitor your health closely, or low risk, your health looks normal, keep it up. So in terms of data science, this approach is especially valuable because, for example, diseases like dementia can benefit greatly from early detection, allowing treatments to slow the progress. Which was seen in this data set I found, and it also used demographic information, more like how good their memory is, gender, and age, and a lot more to create more accurate predictions. And along with that, most wearable devices such as smartwatches are already used for many things, but are typically applied for fitness. But with more advanced data, they can become very powerful health tools, which is what I try to create, and can act as early warning systems for serious conditions. So, to conclude, HealthSense aims to shift healthcare from reactive to proactive. So, instead of waiting until symptoms become severe, we can track them early on, understand them, and take action sooner. By doing this, we can prevent late diagnoses, reduce risk, and ultimately save lives. Thank you.